Hello, and welcome to the Raptor Alert and Accountability Training webinar. Today, you'll learn what Raptor Alert is, the mobile app interface, the difference between an emergency and team assist, how to initiate both an emergency and a team assist, the features available to you once they've been initiated, as well as how to take accountability either through your mobile device or over the web during an emergency. After today's webinar, you should feel fully equipped and confident to use the Raptor Alert app as directed by your district.
Welcome to this part of the Raptor Alert Emergency Management Process specific for Visalia Unified. During this presentation, the presenter was only going to be referring to the mobile app as part of their presentation. It's important to note that the only people that we're going to be requiring to have the app on their phones will be district administrators and those personnel that have been issued a district device. Um, all the rest of the staff will not be required to have it on their device. We will support you putting it on your device. If you would like to put it on your device, we're happy to reach out and help you do that. You'll all have access to the alert system, and those functions that you will see shown on a mobile device, they will just be available on your desktop computer should you not choose to have it on your mobile device. It's also important to note, they don't really go through it here in the training, but that if you do put it on your personal device, there is not a tracking element. They do refer to like some location services. Those, every time you do it, you would have to agree to those location services, and they only occur during a 911 emergency call that you would place. So those are just some important pieces to note as we go through this presentation that are not real clear during the presentation itself. Just again, some of the pieces to the presentation that'll be in there. Drill manager is really just for the front office people to coordinate the drills. They'll be pushed out, and it will look just like a regular emergency. So if you have it on your mobile device, you would get the alert on your mobile device that it's a drill. If you get it on your desktop, you would get it on the desktop. So the same alert notification process, whether it's a drill, accidental emergency, they would be distinguished, but you would get them through the same channels. If you have any questions following this training, please make sure to reach out to our district safety coordinator for any follow-up conversations, any clarifying conversations. Your site principal will also have some information specific to how things will run on your specific campus. If they don't have the answers, we're happy to support that as well. Thank you very
What
much.
is Raptor Alert? Raptor Alert, which your district has purchased and is ready to implement for your campus, is one component of the Raptor Emergency Management System. Raptor Alert is a mobile application that all site staff can use to initiate incidents, both large and small. Notify campus leadership or the entire campus depending on the incident type. You'll also be able to communicate via in-app messaging, share your location, and call 911. This is an app that can be installed on your personal device, either an Android or an Apple device, and either a phone or tablet. If you're attending today, you're a teacher or a staff member at your school's campus, and ideally, you've already downloaded the app and logged into Raptor Alert. But let's take a quick look at the process just in case you haven't. The Raptor Alert mobile app is available on both the Apple and Android app stores. You'll need to search for Raptor Alert. Now, there are two Raptor apps, so please make sure you download the correct one, Raptor Alert. It should have an orange R icon with a black background like you see here. If you need help downloading the app, use the How to Download the Raptor Alert document that is available to you. Once the app is downloaded and opened, you'll be logging into the Raptor Alert app either through single sign-on or an independent Raptor login. This is based upon your district's configuration. When entering your credentials, you'll enter your district email address, which is your username. If your district is using single sign-on, which is a good majority of you, when you click Next, you'll be directed to your district login portal where you'll enter your district username and password to open the Raptor Alert app. These district credentials are the same you use for your other applications. If you are not directed to your district login portal, then you have your own independent Raptor login, and you'll be asked to enter your password. If you don't know or have forgotten your Raptor password, click the Forgot Password link, and the Raptor system will walk you through creating a new password. If you've enabled biometrics, you'll see either Touch ID or Face ID, which is dependent on what is supported by your device. Using biometrics is completely optional, but it does help make the login process faster. If this is your first time to log into Raptor Alert and there's not an active emergency, you'll see the welcome screen and be directed through a guided onboarding process. This is the starting point to help you configure your device to fully utilize the functionality of Raptor Alert, including sending and receiving alert notifications, connecting to 911 services, and communicating your location to others. Once you're ready to continue, click Get Started. The emergency call service screen displays letting you know that during an emergency, you can use our emergency call service to ensure your call is routed to the appropriate call center. Click Next. Here, you'll enter the phone number of your device in order to enable our emergency call service. Once the number is entered and you click Next, a verification code is sent to that number. You'll enter that code here and click Verify. Once verified, the Your Notification screen displays, informing you of the importance of getting notified during an emergency so that you can respond quickly and accurately, as well as the fact that you will only receive notifications related to the schools you are assigned to. Click Next, and a pop-up displays asking if you'd like to receive notifications from Raptor Alert. Click Allow. Another pop-up displays asking if you would like to receive critical alerts, which means that you will receive an alert with sound on the lock screen even if your phone is muted or has Do Not Disturb turned on. Click Allow and the Location Services screen displays, letting you know that allowing location services expedites response time and accuracy when initiating or responding to emergencies. Also, location detection will only be used for the purpose of the application, and information will not be shared. Click Next and a pop-up displays asking to use your location. Due to the reasons I just mentioned, it is recommended that you select Allow Location Services while using the app. Congratulations! You're now all set up. At this point, you can click Enter to access the Raptor Alert home screen, but it is highly recommended that you click Learn How. This opens the Learning Center, which walks you through specific topics on how to use Raptor Alert. Click Start to walk through the first topic on how to initiate an emergency. The first screen displays what your home screen within Raptor Alert will look like and tells you to start by tapping any of the emergency buttons. The next step is to slide the button to the right to initiate the emergency. Click the green arrow to advance to the Incident Details screen, where you can manage the incident by performing relevant tasks like making an emergency call, group messaging, or taking attendance. Click the green arrow to advance and see what the notifications will look like that Raptor Alert sends out in order for others to respond accordingly. Click the green arrow to advance. You have now completed the Initiate an Emergency topic, which displays a check mark next to it. At this point, you can select another topic within the list or click Done to open the Raptor Alert home screen. Please do not click any of the emergency buttons unless there's an actual emergency, as doing so will send out emergency alerts. Now that you are logged into Raptor Alert, let's talk about the app interface. The first thing you see is the home screen. On the home screen, you'll see your campus name, your district-specific configured emergency buttons, and a Team Assist button. Now, there is a difference between emergencies and a Team Assist, and I'll explain that difference here shortly. At the bottom of the screen, you'll also see other tabs of information, an Incidents tab, a Documents tab, and a Drills tab. In the upper left-hand corner is a Settings button, And next to the school name is a drop-down selection option that will enable you to switch to the appropriate campus if you have access to multiple campuses. Your screen might look a little different depending on what your district configures and the protocols you follow. If you click the Incidents tab, you'll see all of your active incidents separated between emergencies and team assists. Right now, if you toggle between the two, you'll see that they are both empty because there are no active emergencies or team assists. During this training, we will be initiating both an emergency and a team assist, so you'll see what this tab looks like at that point. Again, I will describe the difference between an emergency and a team assist here shortly. If you click the Documents tab, you'll be able to see any documents that your district or campus has chosen to upload and or categorize. If you have access to multiple campuses, you'll need to select the appropriate campus. Otherwise, you see those documents such as school maps, emergency operational procedures, lockdown drill guidelines, general emergency response information, or any information that your district or campus wants available to you at all times. If you click the Drills tab, you'll be able to see any upcoming drills scheduled via your campus leadership as defined by your district requirements. Back on the home screen, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a little gear that indicates an Account and Settings button. If you click and open the Account and Settings screen, you'll see information for your login. You'll see the login ID you used to log in to Raptor Alert, a logout button, and the ability to see your account details. You can access the Learning Center to become more familiar with Raptor Alert. Settings is where you can add your device phone number if you didn't add it during your first login. You can enable or disable biometrics, essentially whether Raptor Alert is able to use touch or facial ID recognition to log into the app. And it also displays if you have location services and push notifications enabled or not, as far as when an emergency or team assist is initiated. If you need to update or change the push notification settings for either standard notifications or critical alerts, either click on the information bubble or simply click the appropriate slider to open a pop-up that will enable you to access your phone's settings to make the change. If critical alert notifications are enabled for an iPhone, this overrides your phone's Do Not Disturb setting. For Android devices, you'll have an extra permission that displays, enabling you to override your phone's Do Not Disturb setting. In the support section, you can email and or call Raptor Technical Services. And in the About section, you can see the version of the app you are on, your device name and model, the platform and version your phone is using, and you have access to the privacy policy. Click Done to return to the home screen. The last item on the home screen I want to point out is the drop-down selection option next to the school name. Some of you may be at multiple campuses dependent upon your role within your district. You may be at an elementary school one day or a high school or middle school on another. If you have access to multiple campuses, you can click this drop-down and you'll be able to select the appropriate campus you're at. Most of you will only be assigned to one campus, so you won't have to utilize this button.